If you're new in town or just new to this whole podcast thing, you're tuning in to Law by Night, the podcast that discusses all things vampiric with no fear of breaching the Masquerade. In this episode, we continue to unravel the mystery surrounding the 5 lunar auspices the Garou are born under and experience their first change in Werewolf the Apocalypse. This episode will focus on the Philodox Auspice.
You were born under a particular sign of the moon, as was your first change. Depending on who in the nation you ask, the moon in which you experienced your first change or were born defined your auspice. You have always felt the comfort of Luna, sister of Gaia, and valued her guidance, whether she shines fully on you or hides in darkness. The term auspice holds many meanings for the Garou. It encompasses their personality traits, attitudes, interests, and pack duties. Each auspice is significant and essential, as no werewolf can fulfill all roles. When a pack includes diverse auspices, it becomes stronger as a collective. Moreover, the inner rage of a werewolf also depends on their auspice. When young werewolves begin their training, they study with an elder of the same auspice to learn specific gifts and their roles in werewolf society. Your auspice is an obligation, not social groupings fit with stereotypes. Your ties to Luna are just as important to your loyalty to your pack and sept totem or patron. She defines your rage and reaffirms your place in the universe. It is the literal embodiment of the Garou continual change in existence. Auspices are mystical and spiritual, interwoven into your psychological makeup. Your duties to her are both formal and liberating, a profession and a mindset. There is nothing in the natural world that can be compared to it. Your auspice is as much as you are to it. The Philodox represent the half moon and serve as our mediators, conduits of balance. They are the balance between human and wolf, rage and gnosis, flesh and spirit, fury and wisdom, love and hate, darkness and light, and liberation and order. This in of itself makes the Philodox very spiritually orientated, often possessing more gnosis than rage, which is vital for their roles within the Garou nation. They are the law keepers of our nation and of course your pack, a referee of sorts, solving disputes between different factions of Garou as well as the individual champions of Gaia themselves. They are the judge, jury and possible executioner, something the bards perform with honor. With honor comes pride, accompanied by dignity. Judgment is not passed unless it is asked, for each must know their place within the grand scheme of things. Yes, Luna has destined the Philodox to serve as leader and ruler of their pack through times and peace, but they must also remember their rank within a sept and function within the Garou nation. There are some small details to consider. Philodox of the waxing moon are known for their calm and fair nature, making them better arbitrators. On the other hand, those of the waning moon are seen as perfectionists and are considered to be more nervous than their waxing counterparts. They are often associated with maintaining order and balance, but such distinctions are petty, in my opinion. Any Philodox worth their salt is always going to seek truth and justice. When war comes, the wise Philodox passes that over to the Galliard or, more likely, the Aroon, or of a similar rank, which complements the natural desire for balance found within the Philodox. Even through such times, one has to remain impartial and not favour packmates, keeping the laws of the Garou, the litany, in mind and be the first to challenge and correct poor behaviour. And when serving under another, as the role of advisor, you will be the best at what you're fucking doing. And before you ask, Cub, Philodox Cryonospawn are not warranted of respect they may deserve as arbiters of Garou law, for they are walking violations of the litany, and such a rule breaker does not make a good leader one can aspire to, particularly in a Philodox tale. If you were to ask a member of each tribe who was the first Philodox, you would get several different answers, but something that is found within all of them is how Gaia was wise enough to know that not all wars are done in the heat of physical battle. Much are done out of the spotlight. Perhaps the first instance of this balance has been acknowledged within our nation. The War of Rage ceased with a child of Gaia, Philodox. It was a Philodox that directed the creation of the Concordiate, the ancient agreement made by the Garou nation to remain hidden from humanity nearly 9,000 years ago, after which the Impergium ended, the traditions of which are still obeyed today, spawning many leaders of great fame and infamy. And it is the Philodox who decide what each cub's rite of passage should be, coming to a compromise of each elder of a set. The Philodox place great importance on the renown of honor, with a secondary focus on wisdom. Earning these two types of renown can be a lengthy process, which means that werewolves of the half moon may take some time to increase their rank. These Garou commonly hold significant positions within the sept, such as Truth Catcher, Gatekeeper, Keeper of the Land, and Master of the Challenge. Like I, a Galliard, I'm in awe with language. A natural weaver of words, the Philodox have such a strong desire to bring balance and stability through our rules. Without the litany and tribal customs, what would we become? What were we, dear cub, before the litany? Yes, mindless monsters, blind from our purpose. Rules and orders keep us all in check. But to cast judgment, true judgment, and weight and meaning is difficult. Rarely will find easy solutions as a leader. I'm talking about actions that could potentially end your pack or endanger the sept or tribe, because it is ultimately for the good of the Garou as a whole. Ideally, the choices you would make would hurt the individual Garou and not the sept, but again, the decision is not easy. You must punish your closest allies for breaking the litany and watching the consequences of their actions take effect. No mercy should be shown. Philodox are renowned for their mastery of rites, with a particular focus on punishment rites and rites of accord, which aids them in their needs of theirs. You feel that in your soul? That is the sort of decision-making I am talking about, cub. Rites are one part of this. Find the truth in a fog of lies, regardless of your feelings on the matter, because it has to be done. It is not only a set and a lead by example to all within the nation, but to uphold honor, to know who are equals and superiors, keeping your ears all to the ground. As a leader, you would also have to know how to best challenge those who wish to rise in rank, especially if you are in the position of deciding someone's rite of passage. Test their mettle, converse with spirits, and of course, mediate a dispute. Get your fucking teeth in someone's business, pull the cunts apart, and sort things out fairly. Altogether, this could take weeks. It should take weeks. But if they are worthy of the auspice, they will get it done. One is not born a leader. Most have the potential guide, but few rarely do it well. Philodox Homid tend to be better suited because they are taught the ways of the Garou nation quickly, because they have to be. Ideally, they are taught it from birth, from both their parents and associate kinfolk, even if it's just the basics at adolescence. What are the basics? Respecting others, being honorable and not getting in another space. Come on, Cobb, I think you could have worked that out by yourself. If they don't have the privilege of being such a tight-knit, personal community, teach them the basics so they know what is expected of them and the duty they should hopefully perform should they pass their rite of passage. And as you need to be spoon-fed the fucking basics, a Philodox has to be a guardian and police themselves in order to police others. The half-moon blesses lupus with a keen sense of justice, influenced by the life of the wolf. Philodox pups tend to stay with their packs, especially if a Philodox is present. They find comfort and guidance in the Philodox presence, especially before the first change. In Garou society, lupus Philodox quickly grasp right and wrong, making them simple judgments. They face resistance to their instinctual half-moon ideals and the litany, while lupus are less likely to punish offenders harshly for a first offense. They believe in escalating punishments for repeat offenders and may exile or kill true threats with little mercy. Many have such little regard for the Ragabash, but as we've talked about already, Trickster is often confused with trickery, and each has their reason, method, and lesson to go with it. The Philodox know this and use the Ragabash to provide a new perspective or remind us why certain laws are in place. Of course, the Philodox would also have to put said Ragabash in their place if they overstep the mark. Ragabash are painful allies to the Philodox. The Philodox can have a sharp eye for seeing the bare essence of things, which many spirits appreciate as they revel in showing off their true natures. But the Philodox also heavily rely on the guidance of the Theurges, who are the next in line to lead peaceful times if the Philodox can't. Though many an Arun would argue that there is never a time for peace, for we are always at war with the forces of the worm, but that is a conversation for another time. On the more mundane side of things, the Galliard provide references on how the litany and the punishments that were dealt in the times of need in both major and minor ways. The Philodox would be wise to respect the Galliard, whose well-trained understanding of recent history arises. The Philodox has the final say, of course, but the Galliard provides the facts, and when war comes, the Philodox looks up to the Arun for guidance, as they should too to the Philodox. I say should, for they have the most rage and are most likely to use the Homid parlance, fly off the handle, but a wise Arun would always have a wise Philodox by their side. I hope you realise, Carp, that the Philodox are more than just arbiters of the litany. They also serve as the counselors, negotiators, and mediators, playing a crucial role in binding the Garou nation together through their actions in the present. Some choose to fulfill their duties by learning several languages to communicate as many Garou in many septs across the world, to understand as many of Gaia's children as possible, and to better judge them. It is a duty they take very seriously. They listen to the accusations, review the evidence, and render judgment on the guilty party based on their ideologies, holding their peers to a vision of purity that only they truly understand. They have various tools at their disposal for enacting judgments, including simple punishments for lesser transgressions and punishment rights for more severe offences. The only punishment for some crimes is death, and each Philodox determines which punishment fits each crime based on tribal ideology and the need for the Garou to remain pure and free of the worm's influence. The burden of judging other werewolves can take a toll on the Philodox, as they are more likely to succumb to a depressive state known as haranu. This tendency among themselves requires them to keep an eye on each other, intervening when they notice signs of imbalance and attempting to pull their peers back from the brink. Despite their balanced nature, the Philodox are not immune to the effects of harano, and it can manifest through their rage, leading to periods of activity, punctuating the gloom with a tendency to mask their true emotions to avoid burdening others. The actions of the Philodox do not dictate their methods. As the adjudicators of the Garou nation, these werewolves have a lot of leeway in how they carry out their responsibilities. Frequently, regional customs shape the behavior of the Half Moon, as they often follow the same practices as their mentors taught them. Werewolves who appear before a judge for a transgression in a distant location should be cautious. The regulations in far places may differ from those at home.
To be kept updated, follow the Law by Night VTM Instagram and Blue Sky pages to find out when we upload each episode. You can also find out by subscribing to the YouTube channel and clicking on the little bell, as you'll be immediately notified when the latest episode is live. Until next time, farewell.